And then another.
Everybody. Ah, crap. Hang on.
Everybody cut loose, are you ready? Rockstar, baby. Dead and dreaming. Rockstar, baby. You gotta believe. You want it, you got it. You gotta believe. You love it, you live it. Succumb to the need. You be it, you feel it. Something to conceive. You're a cyber superstar. Get drunk and high, get fucked, everybody hands up in the sky. Break clothes, expose, upload, oppose. Just one dose at a time. I'm la 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 living the life. I'm la 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 living the life. I'm make your body move to my groove, everybody cut loose, are you ready? Make your body move to my groove, everybody cut loose, are you ready? Rockstar, baby, dead and dreaming. Rockstar, baby, you gotta believe. You want it, you got it, you gotta believe. You love it, you live it, succumb to the need. You be it, you feel it, something to conceive. You're a cyber superstar. Light up the day, light up the night. Living the life, yeah, I'm living it right. Light up the day, light up the night. Living the life, yeah, I'm living it right. You want it, you got it, you gotta believe. You love it, you live it, succumb to the need. You want it, you got it, you gotta believe. You love it, you live it, succumb to.
Let's get this story back in check. I had to take a phone call. I apologize deeply. So, good morning. It is 9/16, April the 18th, 2018, and you are tuned into the Blitz Morning Show. I am your host. My name's Toby. You are stuck with me for hopefully the next 15 minutes. How has your day been today? Mine, as you can tell, I'm ahead of schedule on the show. I'm still trying to make it where I can go a little bit earlier, so it doesn't run into the 10 o'clock. I'm telling you, I'm still trying to get this show thing figured out, trying to get my personality, trying to get my persona. It's kind of failing, but what can you do? All right. I don't know if I mentioned it yesterday. We had snow, we had rain. It's not as bad as they first predicted. They did actually say that the south part of the province was going to get the weather bypassed and it's going to hit more north. Guess what? They're right. With the amount of snow anyway that fell, anything that had any kind of warmth to it, vehicles, cement, it just melted. So there was no large accumulation to it. Grass, it did get a little white. Vehicles that have been sitting for a while, they got a little bit of white. Plastic things got white. Otherwise, nothing. You didn't even have to shovel. There's some spots that got a little soppy. Otherwise, roads, sidewalks, they're all good. Even this morning when I got out, I'm expecting things to be a little bit more slick. No. I stepped right on top of the porch thing. Walked off absolutely fine. Stepped on the pavement. Not an issue. So truly, it turned out pretty damn good. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. Today, super foggy. So far, I've noticed it depends. I went to one client, walked in, it was foggy, came out. The fog actually died down. Drove to the other part of town, fog is thick again. Weird. That's how it's been for the reports through the southeast part of the province, Regina, Moose Jaw, Estevan, Carlisle. So far, as I'm driving to Estevan, hands-free, as a matter of fact. Not driving, but, talking to you guys hands-free. Let me just clarify that. It's been foggy. You probably can see 2 telephone poles. 1.5. And that half, you can barely see that one. Weird, I know. But yeah, that's how foggy it is. If you're not careful, not paying attention, you're totally going to miss where you are. Still, after all these years, people are absolutely dumb. If there's fog, if there's rain, if it's night, if it's dusk, if it's dawn, turn on your effing lights, people. There was one vehicle that was literally 2 telephone poles ahead of me. And boom, it was right there. Then the vehicle behind it, you could see a little bit farther. Lights do make a difference. Then, of course, when you flash them to kind of give them a heads up, which I was told that you're not allowed to do that, they give you a dirty look. Then I had one person, they were following me for quite a while. They never use their signal lights for roughly 11 kilometers. And I know most of the kilometers it wasn't really passing a lot or transferring lanes. Anybody who knows Weyburn, it was at Government and 39 that they were behind me. When they weaved from the left lane to the right lane back to the left, no signal light. When we got to the intersection of 16th Street and 39, we used there was about 3 of us that used the passing lane on the right. They never signaled going into the passing lane or coming out. What was it? Over by Ralph, when they passed me, they never used their signal light. And when they got past the vehicle in front of me, never used the signal light to tell them that they were pulling over. The signal light is not an inconvenience. It is a convenience, people. You want to know what an inconvenience is? Is when somebody can't read your mind and they crash into you. Just take that little bit of extra time. That's all you got to do. You just push it down or push it up. When you're turning, you only have to probably say 80 to 90% of the vehicles out there, your vehicle will work with you. You push it down to turn left, the vehicle. As soon as you're done making your turn, boop, it goes back to normal. You turn right, you lift it up. You're done, boop, it goes back to normal. It's just one effing button. Just the frustration of laziness. People, I seriously don't understand it. Even I've been places where the garbage is no word of a lie, 2 feet away. and they leave the garbage right there. Really? Are you serious? Shopping carts are bad. Oh my God. The only place in Weyburn that has it half decent, well calibrated is the wholesale store. Anybody where you have to purchase your cart to use for 25 cents, loony, whatever, that is one of the smartest things ever. Make it a toonie. Make it a loony. Don't make it 25 cents. Nobody cares about 25 cents. A loony, toonie, they care. Otherwise, you have carts here, there, people walk away with them. It's more inconvenient for the people who have to go and grab those carts. I've seen Uncle, the one day when we were about 16, he had to go drive. How did that work? His grandma drove to the co-op, shopped, used the shopping cart, pushed it all the way to our apartment, dropped off the groceries, left the cart, walked back, grabbed her car, came back, phoned Uncle and says, "Can you take the shopping cart back to the co-op?" And he goes, "What?" "Oh yeah. I went, got groceries, and I just brought it home." He goes, "Didn't you drive?" She goes, "Yeah." So when she explained what happened, he goes, "Grandma, what are you doing?" She goes, "It was easier for me to do this because I didn't have to unload it from the cart to the car than from the cart inside the house. I took the cart right inside." Uncle, he just shook his head and was like, "Fine." So we put it in the back of his truck and we took it and dropped it off. Interesting stories, I tell you. Oh, my first run-in with Uncle's grandma. Oh my God. It was Thanksgiving. Just sitting on the couch. His grandma looks and goes, "Oh, there's a piece of pie here." He looks at me and says, "Hello, would you like some pie?" It's like, "No, I'm just going to wait for supper." Do you want some pie?" It's like, No, I'm good. I'll just wait. "You wanted to eat the pie." So Uncle comes in and goes, "No, Grandma, he doesn't want the pie." "Yes, he does. He's just too shy to eat the pie." "No, Grandma, he does not want to eat the pie." "Yes, he does." And Uncle's dad, Big Garney, he comes in and goes, "Mom, he does not want the pie." "Yes, he just doesn't know it. He doesn't want the pie. If he doesn't eat the pie, then I'll have to throw it out." "Well, why don't you eat the pie?" "Because I'm not hungry." "Exactly." So Big Arnie grabs the pie and tosses it in the trash. Oh my God, that was like one of the most interesting days ever. Especially when I was getting threatened to eat a freaking pie. I don't even remember what pie it was. All I know is just what's it, the pie. Oh, pie, Uncle. Uncle! Just in case nobody knows, Uncle is one of my best friends from like grade 8. I don't know how we got the nickname Uncle, but I call him Uncle and he calls me Uncle. So it's kind of our thing back and forth. Oh, eyes itchy. God dang allergies. This sucks. Alright, so. Alright, I think I got it. Somewhat. Scratch. Alright. Then, on top of that, our little nicknames is Uncle Hoyman and Uncle Wilbur. I'm Uncle Wilbur, he's Uncle Hoyman. So anytime I say either Uncle or Hoyman, I'm referring to my buddy Arlen. Uncle! Bark, 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 bark! Yeah, see, this is what I mean by super tangent. The one thing I said yesterday is I wanted to talk about some kind of segment, and I figured why not Twitter news? Today I was scrolling through Twitter, found one article. Something absolutely different. Well, it's not different, but the segment is a little different, so let's call it Twitter News. Oh man, that was lame. Note to self, don't do that again. Actually, get something done up. Twitter News. The one story that just kind of got me shaking my head was there was a flight down in the States where the engine exploded, the window broke, and basically was sucking a female passenger out the window. The passengers grabbed her, brought her in, started doing CPR until they landed. Sadly, she passed away because of her injuries. Just, could you imagine the shock about sitting there and all of a sudden you hear an explosion because the engine exploded and everything's getting sucked out? My gosh, that would, rude awakening. But they still say flying's the most safest way. It could be the safest way. You don't got the idiots like the people on the highways where they're doing 120, 130, trying to save time, passing everybody when it's not safe, not using their signal lights, or even having their lights on. It baffles me. I tell you, it really, really baffles me. Yes, I should have went to commercial by now, but with my luck of me doing a commercial, I just decided for myself, I'm not going to do one today. You're just going to get the straight raw deal of me. Yeah, screw it. Let's go to commercial. Let's slow the show down just for a little bit for this ad. I'm not getting paid for this, but I need to share this with you guys. Do you suffer from joint pain like I do? Let me tell you about SierraCell, Joint Formula 14. It's a relief in a pill form, and in the end, you'll be thanking me once you start taking it. A few years ago, I've had massive pains in my knees, and I was trying every which way to help make it feel better. Many attempts, many failures. In the end, my hope was not close. I was tuned into the Roy Green show, and I heard him talking about SierraCell, so I called the 1-800 number. The gentleman on the other end listened to all my pain, then suggested 4 pills a day for 1 week. I thought it was extreme until day 6. The difference was intense as my joints started to get better and feel relief as every day passed. I started feeling better about myself. It was insane. My girlfriend even noticed a difference on how I was getting up. If she can notice a difference, that's positive effects on my joints, imagine what it can do for you. Give 1 bottle a try, and I can almost guarantee you that you'll swear by it like I do. If you have any questions, visit sierrasil.ca for more information. You won't be disappointed. It's all natural, just minerals, so no worries on food allergies or preferences. Yes, there could be a placebo effect, but the numerous studies show it's more than that. The mineral is sourced in the US, but it's made here in Canada with a strong Canadian company. Just give it a try, because what's the worst that could happen? Your joints could feel better. Welcome back. It is 9:32 and you are listening to the Bliss Morning Show, and I am your host. My name's Toby. Thank you for staying around. Alright, let's kind of head over to sports. Something that the Blitz Edge tends to do a little bit too much. Yes, that's the new show. That's going to be the 10 to 2. Not sure how well it's going to go, but at least we got a name for it. The Blitz Edge. Blitza! Last night, the Winnipeg Jets and the Minnesota Wild, they played. Minnesota lost 2-0. Once again, Dubnyk, he's got to be the MVP. Like, there's no doubt about that. He's keeping it in as close as he possibly can. But the people that need to start scoring need to start scoring. I know, you got to give actual, not credit, but you got to realize that some of the issues that Minnesota are having currently right now are injuries. Because Ryan Suter, he's out. Then you have Zach Parise, he's out. You need the whole crew to actually do what they're supposed to do, score goals. Suter, he's out, and he was given like 40-some assists, which you need him for the setting up, for the defense. But Eric Staal last night, I was going through the highlights because, well, being in southeast Saskatchewan, we don't get the Wild games. Byfuglien, what a dirty player. My God. You go on Twitter and you start scrolling, you realize there are a lot of fans that do not like Winnipeg just because of how dirty of a play, like, team that they are. I used to like Byfuglien until what I seen last night on the replay. He's standing right beside Staal. Instead of, like, for example, hitting Staal in the chest, in the shoulders where he's protected, Staal gets cross-checked in the head by Byfuglien. No penalty whatsoever. People are pissed. This year, with what the Wild have overcome, is getting sent back just because of injuries. And that's what caused the massive crash at the start of the season, was injuries. For example, with Parise. As soon as we got Parise back, they started turning it around. But now, it's getting more frustrating because the injuries are overriding the Wild. Then you have this cheap shot by Byfuglien. Grow up. Like, F sakes. Another person says that Byfuglien usually gets about a minimum of 2 penalties a game. And they're usually kind of not lethal. There we go. Not lethal cheap shots. They're like a little bit of an elbow here, too high, where it shouldn't be, to a little bit elbow here. But come on, refs. I hope the NHL actually takes a look at it and say, hey, whoa, hold up. Then the rest of the Wild team need to stand up. One of the downfalls is the Wild in their goal scoring. Their defense and goalie have always been awesome, but their scoring kind of has fallen flat. Not cool, guys. Smarten it up. Then when it comes to basketball, okay, when I told you guys the score a few days ago, I was a little bit wrong. I know. I really need to write down my stats, which I got a book. Oh, there it is. So I'm going to start writing stuff down, get a little bit more prepared, so you guys can get a half-decent show for the future. That's great. Like, even now, I'm doing actually not too bad. I still have tons of stuff to talk about. A little bit of this, a little bit of that. Super tangent. Bam, boom! Oh, yeah, the Timberwolves. Charles Barkley. What a guy. He said the Timberwolves have to be the dumbest team ever. And, of course, if you do a search for him and listen to him, he will explain the whole scenario when he says the Timberwolves are the dumbest team. I do totally understand where he's coming from with the explanation that he actually has. Oh, that is absolutely hilarious when someone says, oh yeah, he's dumb. Or that whole team's dumb. You gotta love honesty. But I guess that was one of the things that Barkley has, is the honesty towards the actual game. Sadly, it needs more of that. I don't care what sport it is. You just need honesty as the commentators or the show host guys kind of reviews on the previous game. Because if you have everything done by book, no tangent, nothing like that, not like me, it gets pretty boring. I know being tangent as well gets a little thin. Sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do, because when you do what you gotta do, it's so much better. Oh. Oh. I'm not sure what time it was yesterday, but I did get an alert on my phone saying that somebody liked one of my tweets. All right, whatever. So I clicked on it. Takes me to the page. And the Weyburn Police liked one of my tweets saying I am doing a live show. Me personally, I don't know if they did a live show or listened to the live show, because my stats suck, or if they listened to the podcast. If they listen to the podcast and they're going to start listening, I appreciate you guys for doing what you're doing. I tip my hat off to you. It's only going to get better. As well as next time when you see a police officer, tell him thank you. Tell her thank you. Tell the whole force thank you. If it wasn't for them, who knows what would happen. They're the ones fighting the crime to keep everything safe. Even though there's starting to be more criminals than cops, depending on the age, it's easier to get off on a charge than it is to catch a crook and charge him. Oh, he has rights. Don't do that. Okay, if you break the law, sometimes you just need to go to jail to smarten up. All right, well, I better take off, move to the next thing. I've did a show long enough today. My mind is working, so what can you do? Anyway, I will see everybody tomorrow right here on the Blitz Morning Show. My name's Toby Brendel. If you need to get a hold of me, you can always follow me on Twitter at Toby in the AM. The station at the Blitz Talks. If you have any ideas, comments, anything like that, you can also email us at theblitztalks@gmail.com. You can also follow us on Facebook. Just do a search for The Blitz Morning Show and The Blitz Talks. Alrighty. You can follow this show via podcast by the RSS feed on the iHeart app or the Spreaker app. You can do whatever with those. A lot of pros, the cons on them. Maybe I'll explain it more tomorrow. And another thing, if you're not one who likes to download sound, you can actually go to YouTube, because we're on there as well. Yes, the Blitz Morning Show is on YouTube. All right, well, I'm gonna hip hop, hippity hippity hip hip hop, you don't stop, and end the show. Thanks for tuning in to the Blitz Morning Show right here on the Blitz Talks Network. My name is Toby, and I thank you.